Strangers, believe me when I say, loving me is loving danger. Your heart is bound to break. I walk alone in the night, beneath the pale moon. Loving's for the fools, baby, beware of my mind. I'm alone, I'm alone, I'm a lone wolf. 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 I'm a creeping through the shadows and the corners of your mind. I go where the wind blows. I'm a lone wolf. 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 I'm a
Anthem. So
okay.
We're live, by the way. Yeah, I haven't brought up that article regarding Anthem. I don't know if you want to talk about it, or do we want to talk about that?
Yeah, we should, I suppose. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, we can do a separate video and like put it in the show and then upload it to Gamerscarf and yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're live. Hey guys who have joined us. Sorry for the little bit of production meeting. We're just deciding whether we should talk about the Anthem bombshells that have literally just gone off overnight. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, EA. Well, it's actually not. Well, it's actually not EA. It's BioWare, but regardless. But anyway, we'll talk about that towards the end of the show too, for those gamers that are involved, or those gamers that are interested. Hey TL, I see you in chat. How are you, buddy? I don't know if I'm better than Stephen Crowder or Owen or Alex, but thank you for the compliment. I'll take it anyway. But let's jump into the story. So, obviously at the end of the day, guys, in case you have noticed, my website seems to be slow. According to my screen, this is weird. I'm still on the intro. Have you got the... No, okay, that's fixed. Cool. No worries. Weird. Cool. Internet. Gotta love it. Alright, guys, so let's go through. Let's talk about the episode. Let's talk about the news. Let's cover the facts. And let's turn my phone off because at the moment it keeps going through and, well, yeah, beeping. But let's jump into it. So, obviously, guys, in case you have not heard, the key House Democrats have requested Trump's tax return from the IRS. When the Russia collusion narrative fails, go for his tax returns, maybe? I don't know.
That appears to be the MO right now.
Yeah. Like, is anybody else finding it a little bit weird that they're seemingly going after the tax returns literally right after the whole narrative falls apart? So... Is
this tax returns 2.0 though? Because they did this last time?
They've been sort of going after it all the time and, you know, pushing for it and stuff like that. And I don't know what they're hoping.
Silliness.
What are they hoping? Are they hoping that, you know, that he's going to have some secret payment to Russia or something? Is that what they're after? Like,
probably. I don't know.
Like,
maybe they can take him for some kind of tax evasion, and then even if that became true, I'd be like, okay. And every other billionaire in the world.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, you know, like, let's face it, he's a billionaire. So, you know, whether you like it or lump it, or not like it, but at the end of the day, they make their money somehow. You know, the billionaires don't make their money from being the most honest people on the earth. So,
that is so true.
I don't know. I think this is all theatre, but let's do it. So let's talk about it. So obviously this is from CNN, the article. Take it with a grain of salt. House Ways and Means Committee Chairman Richard Neal has formally requested President Donald Trump's tax returns from the Internal Revenue Service, likely launching a battle whether the administration could stretch months or even years in court and could shed light on the president's finances. In a letter to the IRS sent Wednesday and first obtained by CNN, how did you obtain it, CNN? Neal cites a little-known IRS code in his request for 6 years of Trump's personal tax return from 2013 to 2018. He also requested the tax returns of 8 Trump's business entities and a nod to escalating pressure from the liberals in the caucus who have argued that Trump's personal returns wouldn't sufficiently paint a picture of the president's financial history. Trump said late Wednesday that he would not be inclined to provide his tax returns to Congress until he was no longer audit. Asked about the request for 6 years on his tax returns, Trump asked, "Is that all? Oh, that usually it goes 10, so I guess they're giving up." Kind of funny when you think about it, but anyway. Now we're under audit. Despite what people said, we're working it out. As I've always under audit, and it seems I've been under audit because the numbers are big, and I guess they when you have the name audited. But until such time I'm not under audit, I would not be inclined to do that, he nodded. During a House meeting with the military leaders. While the move will largely be seen by the Republicans as a political escalation, Neal explained in the letter request as a part of his oversight role. Neal wrote that the committee needed Trump's tax return to consider legislation regarding the IRS's practice of auditing sitting presidents. I think that's a lot of crap, to be honest. I think you're just after his tax returns because you want to impeach him and because you don't like him. Under the internal revenue manual, individual income and tax returns are subject to mandatory examination, but this practice is IRS policy and is not codified in the federal tax laws. Neal wrote in a letter to the IRS, "It's necessary for the committee to determine the scope of any such examination and whether it includes a review of underlying business activities required to be reported to the individual's income tax return." In other words, posture, posture, posture. We want your tax returns because we want to try and impeach you. Posture, posture, posture. In a statement to CNN, Neal stressed that the committee's request was about policy, not politics. My predictions were made on my own track and time, entirely independent of other activities in Congress of the administration, Neal said. My actions reflect a abiding reverence for our democracy and institutions are not a way based on emotion or the movement of partisanship. You know, it's funny when people say stuff like that because normally they're overcompensating for something. So generally when a person is saying that why they're doing something and putting in a defensive claim, generally that's because they have something to hide. That's just psychology. Yeah, so at the end of the day, I think this is all about partisanship and political posturing, but anyway. But obviously, the funny thing is, the House Democrats demand 6 years of Trump's tax return from the IRS. The chairman of the House Ways and Means Committee used a little-known provision in the federal tax code, formally requested on Monday that the IRS hand over 6 years of President Trump's personal and business tax returns, stating what is likely to be a momentous fight with his administration. But obviously it's gone to the House vote, and surprise, surprise, the House Democrats formally request Trump's tax return. And obviously breaking news, Trump's tax returns demanded from IRS by Democrat Ways and Means Chairman, April 10 deadline given. So they obviously they own the House, so they've obviously gone through and put it has to go through Senate, I believe, which is Trump owned. And then he can veto it even, so it's likely to go to legislation.
it probably wouldn't be a good look if he vetoed it, though.
Yeah. TL, yeah, we know the internet, man. It's... yeah, guys, look, I know the internet's a problem. I can't do anything about it. I really can't at the moment. Yeah, like... Yeah. I'm powerless to do anything about the internet. I really am. Like, the only thing I can do, mobile phone, and then the internet speeds I get from that are going to be pretty much the same as what I get from the ADSL or the ADSL2. So even if I did that, it wouldn't make a lick of difference. Like, I'll just do a speed test right now. Not to mention the fact that I'd have to change the whole network settings and everything in the house. No, it's just not you. It's the internet, man. It's fucked. It really is. ADSL2 is not designed for streaming. That's for sure.
Don't worry, guys. He's getting an upgrade soon. I think it's only a couple of months, right? Is that right?
About a month away.
Yeah. Only 4 weeks to go. We can celebrate the first high-speed stream.
Oh, don't worry.
Soon.
We will be fucking celebrating it. Don't you worry. Look, I'm as frustrated by everybody with it. Don't worry. It fucking pisses me off too, and it really does. And yeah. Look, like I say, it's actually 6 weeks. Actually, it's 6 weeks until it happens. I got a fucking stop down counter on my phone. So, like,
wow, cool.
Yeah, like, don't worry, guys. Like, I can't even, like, even streaming frigging games is lag. Lagging. Yeah, it lags a lot when I load up web pages. So when I first go live, I'm loading up all the articles. It's sort of, it plays up with that.
Imagine what it can be like sometimes trying to listen to him and try to be an effective co-host when the Discord is also playing up. That's the worst.
Yeah, but at the moment, Discord's saying it's all green for me.
Yeah. You're coming through great for me though, so at least that's a plus.
Yeah. But anyway, as for this, look, obviously, guys, what I think about this is, I think this is just posturing. This is just the Democrats trying to find something on Trump so they can impeach him. That's all it is. It's just typical posturing bullshit. Am I surprised? No. We knew they were going to go for this. We fucking called it, months ago. So, no surprise.
Yeah.
I don't know,
they will go through it with a fine-tooth comb, and then they'll harass him for a while over that. I think what it is maybe the way that they're making it, like, they can't impeach him. Yeah. So if they just keep him under constant investigations, that keeps him tied, and then he can't be an effective president.
Well, the thing is that they control the House at the moment anyway, so they've already sort of made him less effective than if he was to control the House and the Senate.
Yeah.
But, yeah, look, it may be about power, but at the end of the day, I think this is mostly about them. It's just, I think it's mostly just them. It's just them wanting something to get rid of him on. That they're worried he's going to win 2020, and shit, we're going to be quite stuck with another 4 years of Trump. For example.
Yeah.
It really does go to show how, anti-globalist and how anti-deep state he is, because, like, they've literally pulled out the stops on this guy. They have been trying for years to get rid of him now, and he's still there. So, TL says in chat, I tried to stream on Twitch and it crashed on me. Gotta love West Virginia internet. Yeah. Sadly though, that internet's probably better than mine, so work that one out. But yeah. But look, at the end of the day, I just realised my webcam was facing the wrong way. But yeah, as for Trump, look, I think this is more just about them getting rid of him, just wanting something to get rid of him on. So, but I don't know. Thoughts, opinions. Move on to the next story.
Yeah, I reckon it is what you're saying. And it is pretty clear that they're projecting their intentions, which I think are fake. when they say that it's not about partisanship, it's about policy. No, I don't believe that for a second.
Mm.
And if you have to stand there and justify it in that way, then you're probably lying.
Yeah, probably lying your ass off. But anyway,
yeah.
Hey, can you find that Kotaku article for us on Anthem by any chance, man? Save me trying to load it up and crashing the stream.
Mm-hmm.
It's on Kotaku apparently. While he is doing that, Brexit MPs back delay bill by 1 vote. MPs have voted for a majority of one. Sorry, the MPs have voted by a majority of 1 to force the Prime Minister to ask for an extension to Brexit process in a bid to avoid any no-deal scenario. The bill put forward by Labour's Yvette Cooper was passed by the Commons in just 1 day. However, it would need to be approved by the Lords before it becomes law. It would also still be for the EU to decide whether to grant any extension. It's funny because I was talking to someone the other day and I was saying about the EU and I was saying that they're authoritarian. He tried to claim they weren't. Thank you very much. I'll have a look at that. He claimed that they weren't, and then I started persistently going through and just dismantling the argument by showing time after time after time the amount of times that they have control over different countries. One thing I didn't get to mention was they also control elections, but regardless. So the bill put forward by the vote comes after Theresa May met Jeremy Corbyn for talks on Brexit. Yep, we just crashed the stream, loading the web page again. The discussion between the leaders who are trying to find an agreement on the way forward were described as constructive, but Mr. Corbyn added that they were non-inclusive. Teams for both parties were meeting on Wednesday evening ahead of the full day of talks on Thursday to see if they can agree to a Brexit plan to put a vote in the House ahead of the emergency UU summit on 10th of April. I've always wanted to start a YouTube channel with a cappella perspective on things.
An appellation perspective
What's
on
that?
things. Yeah.
What's that?
Appellation. Oh, look it up. I'll get the definition for it.
Teams for both parties were meeting on Wednesday evening ahead of the full day of talks Thursday to see if they can agree on a Brexit plan to put a vote in the House ahead of the emergency EU summit on the 10th of April. If they cannot, the Prime Minister has pledged to put a number of options in the vote, including the deal that she has negotiated with the EU, which has already been rejected by MPs. But anyway. Look, at the end of the day, I've been pretty vocal on the EU and this whole Brexit deal. I think she should just flip the table and just say to them, we're leaving. What are you going to do about it? No, we're not going to pay you money. What are you going to do? What are you going to do, Merkel? What can you do? Yeah? But,
yeah, so I think some people might have overplayed Britain's power on this one. I think the problem is that if it's a Brexit, a hard Brexit, they won't get any of the demands that they asked for, which is primarily the free movement of people between the European countries.
Which most of the people in the UK don't want anyway.
Well, it's not about the immigration. It's about a person in Britain can't easily just drive to the neighbouring state. You know, like it causes problems with that.
Well, they get by sea, so they can't drive. But I know what you mean. Yeah. But yeah, if you're in the UK, you can't just go and freely go to the EU. And at the moment, you're all under one passport. You'd have your own passport. But this is the thing, right? You were able to go and travel in Europe before the EU came along. Before Brexit became, before the UK became a member of the UK. So it's not like you can't do it. It's just that you need your own passport.
Yeah, yeah. It would bring back the previous method of passports.
Yeah, which is not
I
a
think the other
bad
thing
thing.
too is they also want to maintain a lot of the trade deals, which they
Yeah.
won't be able to do with Brexit. They have to renegotiate everything. I think that's what they're trying to avoid, basically, just those two things. But I don't know. I mean, it's not a big deal. It's just, I guess it's like a pain in the butt. They'll overcome it. They're British.
Look at the
They'll,
end.
they'll get over it.
Yeah, look, at the end of the day, the fact is that that deal, renegotiating the deal, wouldn't necessarily be a bad thing. And the free movement, you have to take your passport when you go on holidays. What do you do? You know, like,
Yeah.
is that really such a problem? Like, at the end of the day, I don't really see a problem with a hard Brexit. I really don't. I think it'd be good for the UK to do a hard Brexit, and then they can sit there and they can renegotiate everything, and they can start from scratch. But
A new future for the EU.
Yeah.
Not the EU, for Britain. Yeah.
For Britain, yeah. And that's what I think it's all about. But at the end of the day, look, obviously, Theresa May, she's a Remainer. She's been photographed at a Remainer fucking protest. There's only one photo of it because she was just because she made the stupid mistake of turning up to one of them. But yeah, she turned up to one of them and the photograph was snapped. So, you know, hey, you know, like, is anybody surprised that she's screwing this up? But,
Yep.
anyway. Lori Lightfoot, elected Chicago mayor, will be the first black woman and first openly gay person to hold post. It's all about victim narrative, isn't it? Look at that victim point. Look at that hierarchy, that intersectionality that she has. Lori Lightfoot and Tony Packwinkel had the first two spots in February's election that saw historic 14 candidates for mayor leading to the runoffs. So, former federal prosecutor Lori Lightfoot defends Tony Packwinkel in a runoff for Chicago mayor Tuesday. She said she'll be the first openly gay person and the first black woman to lead this city. Yeah. So the Associated Press called the race for Lightfoot short for 8 p.m. local time, with over 91% of participants in. Lightfoot led Periwinkle 73.7 to 26.3, according to Chicago Board of Election websites. So she romped it in, absolutely crucified it. Lightfoot pumped her fist in the air, and the crowd cheered when she said, "Thank you, Chicago." In this election, Tony and I were competitors, but in our differences, nothing compared to what we can achieve together, Lightfoot said. Now that's over, I know we'll work together for the city that we both love. Today you did more to make history, Lightfoot said. You created a movement of change. In other words, yay, go, yay. Look, at the end of the day, obviously then, Mayor for Chicago focuses fight on hate. So Lori Lightfoot was elected mayor of Chicago on Tuesday, and while bankruptcy and violence plagues her city, her agenda appears to be focusing on stamping out hate with regarding to the immigration community. Your city's bankrupt. You got violence all over your city, gang violence and everything like that. So what are you going to do? Oh, we're going to focus on hate crimes. Because that's going to solve the other problems, right?
Wow. Such blindness. They probably just should have voted someone who's on a deathbed. Like, you know, just someone who's on life support probably would have gotten better choices. Do nothing is probably better than what she's doing.
Lightfoot is the city's first black female openly gay mayor, speaking to CNN on Wednesday about her landslide win and plans for the city. I think the most historic thing was beating the old entrenched Chicago machine and getting such a resounding maiden for charge, said Lightfoot. After winning nearly 75% of the vote, it gives me incredible joy and makes me feel very humble. The new mayor said she intended to lead a different direction than outgoing mayor Rahm Emanuel, who famously eschewed federal funding over the DACA and declared Chicago to be a Trump-free zone. But Lightfoot planned to stamp out hate might seem a bit underwhelming in a city where one of the major problems in existence is the summer season. We have a lot of changes to face, and this is well aware of it. I have to be heading in soon to the summer violence session, Lightfoot explained. After that's over, we'll evaluate the point of making close with the police superintendent and his executive team to make sure we keep our neighborhoods safe. Yeah, look, I don't know. What are your thoughts? Yay, nay?
Nothing but platitudes and mismanagement ahead.
Yeah. Look, at the end of the day, obviously, yeah. Anyway, what were you going to say?
Well, to be honest with you, it sounds like that's what's been going on in history anyway. Like the previous mayor sounds like he was just platitudes and mismanagement too.
Yeah, they obviously didn't learn from the last one, but
no, it seems to me like a lot of American states are going down that road. They're all turning into shitholes.
Yep, but anyway, so we have a bit of a red pilling moment. Transgender women competing in sport is unfair, says a BBC presenter. Reckon she'll get to keep a job?
We'll see.
BBC presenter Gabby Logan has said that it's not fair that transgender women can compete in sports alongside biologically female women. Logan, who represented Wales in rhythmic gymnastics in the 1990 Commonwealth Games, said women's sports needs to be protected and said many of the other athletes feel the same way. She stressed, "This is not about attacking a community, it's about saying how we can make this a fair place for women to compete," reported a newspaper. Her comments come as other famous sporting women, including Sharon Davis and Martina Nowotska, I'm getting that name wrong, have spoken out against the unfairness of trans athletes competing against biological women. But at the end of the day, I thought the left believed there was no difference between biological females and males.
They just say that, but I don't think that anyone really believes it, because it's objective fact, after all.
But at the end of the day, that's what they say, right? We can only go by what they say.
Well, yeah, true. Like, if they say that, but they're wrong. They're just wrong.
Oh, yeah, me and you both agree they're wrong, but they say that, right? So
they do. Yeah.
Well, I'm not against accelerationism in some areas. In this, my argument would be, you guys reckon they're similar? Fine. We're going to put biological females and transgender women in the same spot. After they've lost every single race, they're no longer winning medals, and the transgender people are cleaning it up. Maybe then they will sit there and think, well, hey, maybe this is a bad idea. I don't know. Maybe that'll work. Maybe that sort of accelerationism would actually work. I don't know. I don't know. What are your thoughts?
Well, they're going to do it with the Olympics, and we'll see what happens. I think that will be all we need. One Olympics with that rule in place where they're going to let transgender women in there. They can clean up. They can hurt biological women, because that tends to be a side effect sometimes when they do contact sports. And hopefully that will wake everyone up to that reality. But it is nice to see in general, just speaking in general about sports, this is nice because there's a sports presenter host said on live TV that people need to stop getting offended about things that don't concern them. Did you cover this story, or you heard of this?
No, never heard of it.
Yeah, I'll pull up the story for you. You can cover it in like what next.
Sure.
It's really good. It looks like maybe in sports people are just getting fed up with this transgender push. So I might be seeing something. Yeah, and I'll pull up that story for you.
Okay, Dickie. Alright, let's jump on to the next story while he's getting that. This is interesting, and this is something I might have a theory on. Hillary and Bill Clinton embark on speaking tour with Ben Stiller and Hollywood. Do you think she's going to run again?
Yeah, I do actually.
Like, this to me has look, it could just be a money thing, right? She could just want more money.
It's possible, but I think she's just that crazy. I don't know. I'm pretty sure she's going to run again, yeah. And I don't know why. That's insane. But you have heard that there's almost 100 Democrats going to be going for the presidency, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's insane in of itself.
Yeah.
Holy crap.
Yeah. Yeah, I think when Trump ran for the Republicans, there was about 18, I think it was, or something like that. So, yeah. But anyway, following last year's disaster speaking tour, so maybe she's just doing it just to make money. Former President Bill Clinton and failed 2016 candidate Hillary Clinton are once again planning to tour the nation. This time, featuring Hollywood star Power in some locations. So not all, it's only going to be in some. Hillary Clinton and I are hitting the road with some friends and we hope to see you, Bill Clinton said on Wednesday. So they're going to be in New York, Detroit, Wellingford, Washington, and Boston. Funny thing is that I think she's actually visiting more areas now than she was when she was running for president. The Clintons are speaking with actor Ben Stiller and TonyGoldwyn, a former NFL player, in different cities. Comedian Jordan Kepper will also be joining the Democrat power couple in Washington, D.C. Bill and Hillary hit the road last year for a tour filled to generate enough public interest to even fill the seats Hillary and Bill hit the road last year for a tour that failed to generate enough public interest to even fill the seats in the venues they chose.
That's awesome.
Yeah, there was actually a lot of shots that were going around where they were actually showing how little people turned up.
You think less people turned up to their rallies than people turned up to go see Captain Marvel?
Well, yeah, Captain Marvel actually didn't do too bad at the box office, considering.
She's like, oh, I was beaten by Captain Marvel. Oh my gosh,
yeah,
maybe I shouldn't continue with this.
Yeah, I think more people did go and see Captain Marvel than Bill and Hillary. That's for sure. Which, obviously says something, but anyway. Look, at the end of the day, obviously, look, as for Hillary and Bill, look, the only reason I would go to these shows is so I can ask her about Benghazi or about Uranium One.
Yeah.
That would be the only reason I would actually go to these events. Yeah. Apart from that, like I say, yeah. I wouldn't give two shits to go, to be honest. But
Yeah, just go there to heckle her.
Yeah.
And then get kicked out and then laugh.
Probably. Record it, put it up on YouTube. So, yeah, that'd be the only reason I'd go. Is to go through and do that. But what about you? Would you go? Would you go to heckle her, or?
Oh, yeah. I'd do it because it was fun. I'd be like, hey, night out.
True.
Go heckle Hillary Clinton and then just go and get something from ORourke and, have some ice cream and then go home, play games.
She was in Australia, and I was thinking about going and visiting her, actually, when she was in Australia.
Oh.
But anyway, apart from that, but yeah, to be honest, I don't think it's going to be very successful. I think getting these stars in is obviously just a way for her to go through and try and, I don't know, bolster the attendance.
To be honest, I don't think she has a chance. Hopefully, this time, all of the other people who are running are well aware of how she stole nominations or something before and can prevent that from happening again. I would if a Democrat has to win, then, there are a few Democrats that are probably good choices for Americans to make. Obviously, research everyone, agree with policies, don't vote blind. But yeah, there's much better choices on the Democrat side coming because there's like 100 of them or something. So I'm sure there's a few good ones in there.
Yeah, I don't know. They all seem pretty left of Karl Marx, so
Well.
and they all have the same, anti-gun sentiment. Been there, we've done that.
Yeah. There's one in particular I bring up every now and then, and you don't agree with me, though.
Yeah, I've actually heard some bad things about her. I've been meaning to look into it, find out exactly what it was I heard. Because I know Jimmy Dore supports who you're going to say. And I know Jimmy Dore was actually forced to confront the issues about some of the things that she said. And he tried to make excuses for it. She was younger, There's something about her parents were Nazis or worked in a Nazi company or something, or something. And
I have no idea.
Yeah. So, like I say, yeah, there was something like that. And obviously, look, at the end of the day, he's tried to go through and do as much damage control as he can. But what we saw this was mainstream media. People being blind to people just because they wanted to vote for him. People were the same with Hillary. People were completely blind with, with what happened with Hillary. So, people get in their blind spot, and they don't. Yeah, I don't know. And look, Trump's not perfect, but
maybe Tim Pool might run. That'd be nice. I think people are unironically promoting that and trying to get him to do it. So that's actually pretty funny. I don't know if he's old enough. Maybe not.
You got to be 35.
Yeah.
I don't think he is.
I'll see if he's old enough. I'll check.
He'd have to take off his beanie.
That's true.
Well,
I don't think he can do that.
He's had it snatched off his head a few times, and
he has.
Really?
Have you seen him without that beanie on though? Yeah. Holy crap!
Oh yeah.
It's horrific.
Yeah.
Put it back on, quick!
Yeah, dude, just shave your head. Like, seriously, man, just shave the fucking head. Yeah, that bald. Yeah. But that said, I loved him.
Unfortunately, no. He's 33. He'll be 34 for that presidential run. Then, and so yeah, he can't. No, one more year, so he has to miss it. He has to go for 2024. Yeah.
Anyway, Sports Center Van Pelt on anger at stop being offended by things that don't concern you. On Sunday, ESPN Sports Center anchor Scott Van Pelt pinned on one big thing on the recent anger directed at Michael Slate University basketball coach Tom Osler for his fiery confrontation in a team huddle. Van Pelt advised viewers to stop being offended by things that don't concern you. His players, his past, his presence, how I rarely his players, his past, his present have a rare loyalty to him, stated Scott Van Pelt. He doesn't have a transfer problem. He has the opposite. He has a bunch of 4-year guys, the overwhelming majority of whom have gotten to the Final Fours, in part because of being held accountable by the way he holds them to accountability. This, to me, seems like he's just sticking up for a mate. I don't think this is some cultural shift.
So there was a Twitter storm of people who were being offended by that. And then he basically then just told the people while live to just stop being offended about things that don't concern you.
But that's what I'm saying. I don't think this is. I don't think this is a shift in the cultural fabric. I think this is just him sticking up for a friend who's a basketball coach.
So what you see a phenomena a lot of is Twitter rage mobs.
Yeah.
People who just go on there and just dogpile on something because they're offended. We see it all the time.
Yeah.
Like, people get offended and then they just, run up a big rage on social media. And it's really nice to see an anchor, someone actually just go, enough is enough. Like, we don't care about stuff that doesn't concern you. And look, clap. That's clap to me.
Yeah, but like
instead
I
of
say,
apologizing.
Yeah, but
instead of apologizing like everyone always does, it's great to see that this didn't happen this time.
But at the end of the day, what I'm saying is that I don't think this is going to be some shift in culture. I think this is just him sticking up for his mate. So I don't know if this is. I don't want to be blackpilling or anything like this, but I don't think this is everything that people are making it out to be. Like, people are like, not just you, but other, I presume, are looking at this and going, yes! Shift in culture, yes! People are being told to stop being offended. But I think that at the end of the day, this is more about him sticking up for a mate than it is about him trying to shift perception of culture. I don't know. Could be wrong. Thoughts?
Yeah. I think it was great to see a TV host.
Maybe. We'll see.
Just lash out at a noisy minority of people who just get perpetually offended at everything. It's good to see.
We'll see, but let's keep going. So, Peter ORourke, as president, I would absolutely sign slavery reparations bill into law. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. So, Wednesday, MSN planned a clip of 2020 Democrat president primary candidate Peter ORourke at the National Action Network's convention. ORourke was asked if he would sign Sheila Jackson Lee's bill, which would consider reparations proposed for African Americans. ORourke said, yes, civil rights are not just those victories that have begun with the outset of my comments, but the injustices that have been visited and continue to be visited on people. We will never have a chance that we never live up to the promise of this country, so absolutely I would sign that into law. So in other words, vote for Peter ORourke for president, pay your money. If you want to believe in reparations, vote for Peter ORourke. If you don't believe in reparations, or you don't think it's something that should be done, don't vote for him. Personally, I wouldn't vote for him. What are your thoughts?
No, I don't. If I was in America and I didn't want to bankrupt the Treasury, then I won't vote for him, no.
So Australia went through and did this whole reparations thing and everything like that for the Sorry generation and yada, yada, yada. But at the end of the day, it didn't really solve anything. It didn't really stop anything. Because after they had that, then they started asking for money, which they obviously always want. And then at the end of the day, they're still going on about us stealing their land. So,
it changed nothing, and it didn't actually help their lot in life at all.
no.
It's almost like giving away free money doesn't do anything.
Yeah, it's like throwing money at a problem doesn't always solve the problem. Funny that. But anyway, yeah, I'd say no. I'd say don't vote for him, but that would be my opinion. Conor McGregor calls Kabar's Muslim cow. Interesting.
Good enough for me.
Conor McGregor outraged many for mocking fellow UFC champion Kabar Nojoa's Muslim marriage ceremony, calling the fighter's wife a towel. McGregor tweeted out photos of Kabar sitting next to his new wife during their wedding, where the woman is seen wearing a full body covering. McGregor mocked the woman's Muslim garb, telling Kabar, "Your wife is a towel, mate." TMZ Sports reported. So, I'm going to post the photo. Don't say what I think you're going to say. But, have a look at this photo.
Alright. Wait, where is she?
I told you not to say that.
Look, I'm just genuinely asking you, like, he's
So-
just sitting there by himself. I don't see anything.
No, she's a ninja. That's what it is, right? Ninja wife. He's sitting next to him.
Oh, what? Oh, that's some really good camouflage. I see it.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's ninja in training.
Ah, okay. Yeah. Alright.
Yeah.
That's really damn good camouflage, mate.
Yeah.
That's super
The-
ninja right there.
Yeah, I think the army actually wants to go through and sort of incorporate it for themselves, for their troops. And now I've got the Kung Fu fighting song stuck in my head.
I mean, that's like, I've seen veils, and I mean that's a hell of a veil, dude.
Well, she's Muslim.
Yeah. Don't they usually have like the little cutout for with the eyes though?
Yeah, but like she's a full ninja.
Ah, okay, full ninja.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, mate. All right. Yeah, I think the whole thing is pretty funny, I suppose.
Yeah.
It's a funny situation.
But anyway, look, at the end of the day, obviously,
Yeah.
look, McGregor has somewhat of a reputation for being a mouth and other things. And look, at the end of the day, look, obviously, look, to be honest, it's, yeah, attacking someone's wife's pretty low blow. But that said, it's kind of funny, I suppose. I don't know. Yeah.
Well, I can't say much because you've told me not anything.
I want to keep my YouTube channel.
Yeah, I understand.
I wonder if he loses her in the bed sheets.
You don't need any bed sheets. She comes with them.
Hey, wifey, where'd you go? You hear this? Kenny, is that you, Kenny? Oh boy, we're so demonetized right now. But anyway, let's keep going. President Trump and Melania Trump have long private dinners together. Oh my god, it's like they're a married couple. Who would have thought? A new book suggests that while President Trump and Melania appear to rarely have time to spend together, they actually have a lot of private dinners during trips to Mar-a-Lago. According to a new book titled Mar-a-Lago and Inside the Gates of Power at Donald Trump's Presidential Palace by author and part-time Palm Beach, Florida resident Lawrence Lima, the first couple spend lengthy dinners together, sometimes lasting 3 hours, when Trump at the resort on the weekends, per CNN on Monday. they could always be going at it in the dining room table, I suppose. What married couples spend 3 hours together at dinner? Lima asked. They're so long. Other people are leaving and they're just there. They dine for hours, he added. It's like a small table for 4 people, so people can come and say hello, but there's not enough room to invite people to join. It's probably the idea of it. Lima continued, it's extraordinary for what public personality Trump is, but part of him is very private, and so is she. I'm talking about the sense that he doesn't necessarily like interlopers. Trump has always got to be the center of attention, so if you got somewhere else party, he's not going to go to, so he's not always going to be that. So if you got to, so if you go to someone else's party, he's not always going to be that, the center of attention maybe. Since Melania is on his arm, a spectacle dressed even just for the members to see, Lima explained. Mar-a-Lago is the only place where he feels truly relaxed. He feels comfortable there, and I think that's true for her as well. To be honest, it seems like they're a married couple and they have dinners together. It's probably the only time they get. Fucking whoop-de-doo. Like, who really gives two shits? Like...
Yeah. It's almost like couples do that. Oh, they complain about anything and everything.
Yeah, like they're trying to make it out of something that's not. And to be honest, I don't really give a shit if Trump and Melania sit around and have dinners for 2 or 3 hours. Who gives two shits? Look, the 3 hours is probably exaggeration anyway. Probably closer to 2 hours, maybe an hour and a half, 2 hours, whatever it may be. Good on him. Go to knock yourself out, Trump. Who really gives two shits? You know, I don't care if the guy has a 3-hour dinner with his wife. Like, they're fucking married, for the love of God. Who cares?
Yeah, I don't think they get to spend much time together.
No. No, it's the only time they probably get. And then obviously they've got to eat and everything in that time too. So they're probably sitting there playing footsies under the table. Probably enjoying each other's company. They're relaxed. So, you know, fucking good on them. Plus, you know, at the end of the day, like, will come up and talk to him and stuff like that when he's at Mar-a-Lago. So at the end of the day, it's always not like it's 3 hours with them together, just on their own. You know, it's probably, you know, out of that, it's probably half an hour to an hour where people have come up and said hi, maybe. So, yeah. But anyway, I don't know. I think this is a big nothing burger. I really, really do. But anyway. Senate Republicans to officially use nuclear option to confirm Trump's nominees. The Senate voted Wednesday to shorten Democrats' time obstructing President Donald Trump's nominees on the floor in order to speed up the nomination process. The vote was sped up by the Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell on Thursday, which expected that it would fail, so that he called the nuclear option that could be used. McConnell introduced a procedural cultivar vote on Wednesday that was shut down 58 to 48. The culture needed 60 no votes to fail. So McConnell entered a motion to reconsider the failed closure vote, making it so Republicans only need a majority in order to use the nuclear option. So what this is all about, right? So Trump has gone through and he's set a whole bunch of people as his employee, as his workers, right? His staff for the White House and, you know, boards and, you know, like chairmans and stuff like that. Well, what the Democrats are doing is they're going through and they're dragging out the interview process. It's something like you got to have 50 hours or whatever. And they're dragging it out as long as they can, so that Trump can't have half his cabinet still appointed. So yeah, and that's what they're doing. So, you know, for example, instead of going through and getting these interviews all done in a timely manner, they're just dragging them out and just saying, no, we don't want to vote on it because we haven't gone to full disclosure yet. We don't know everything we need to know. So at the end of the day, no, we're not going to vote. We're dragging it out. And this nuclear option turns around and says, no, you're going to vote whether you like it or not. It's a stall tactic from the Democrats, and that's all it is. It's the Democrats stalling to sort of try and, yeah. try and hamper Trump, so to speak. That's my impression of it anyway. Yeah, what are your thoughts?
My thoughts are that he probably should just do a press conference to just outline all of these things the Democrats are doing, and just basically just try to bring down some public pressure on this. Because, I mean, if they're doing that, if they're genuinely just doing stalling tactics, they're basically hampering the American government.
Yeah, they are.
Isn't that like one of those things that is called treason?
No.
To work against your own country?
Well, technically no, because their answer would be that Trump is anti-American, or that Trump is not in America's...
Russian agent.
Yeah, not in... Well, they can't use that one anymore. But, you know, Trump is not working in America's best interest. So, they would make that argument, I suppose. And, yeah, basically go through and try and claim that's why they're obstructing. But at the end of the day, it's just... Look, obviously, full disclosure, you know, the Republicans do it too when the Democrats are in power. They're both as bad as each other for it. I think the Democrats do it a little bit more, but... Sorry?
Yeah, well, you know what they could do? They could pass a bill to change the system so that the interview process... so if, for example, if a Democrat is doing a hiring, then the opposition has 24 hours or something like that to do their thing. So they can't do that. So they can't... the opposite side can't stall them, you know? Same would be for Republicans. The Democrats have 20 hours, like so on.
But the thing is that if you go through and you did that, for example, say someone wasn't available. So what they do is they base it on time. They base it on, for example, time. You know, they say that, you know, for example, that you have to have 50 hours or something. I think it's 50 hours of interviews. Well, instead of going through and just having, you know, 3-day interview, they drag it out and they do one hour interview for 50 days. And that's what they're doing.
Change it.
Yeah.
Change it so that the 50 hours has to be done within a certain period of time. So if it's 50 hours, fine, then make it like a 7-day process limit.
Yeah, that'd be alright, yeah. True.
Yeah.
But then obviously if you go through and appoint a whole bunch of people, you know.
Oh, well, it's 7 days in series, I suppose, then. Yeah, it's
7
not
days.
parallel, then.
7 days from the start of the talks, so
yeah.
Maybe so. Yeah, something like that. Maybe could do. Yeah. All right, let's get going. We're getting towards the end of it, so you can get to bed soon. Fact check: Trump's dad was not born in Germany. So Trump lied, sort of, maybe. Let's jump into it.
Let's see.
CNN during a presser with NATO Security General Jens Stoltenberg, President Donald Trump claimed that his father was born in a wonderful place in Germany while discussing the country's military spending. My father is German, Trump told reporters. Right, was Germany and was born in a very wonderful place in Germany, so they have a great feeling for Germany. To be honest, I don't think this is a bad thing if he's not linked to Germany. People always like to go on about Trump being Hitler. So, I don't know, it was just floating. This is untrue. Trump's father, Fred Trump, was born in the Bronx. But there is a caveat to that, and we'll get to that in a sec. Trump has made his claim before his famed book, where his ghostwriter quotes to the further from the facts. The Art of Deal, Trump writes that his grandfather, Frederick Trump, came here from Sweden as a child, a fact which some kinds confuse talk about his father instead. And his father, Fred Trump, was born in New Jersey in 1905. Neither of these assertions is totally accurate. Trump's grandfather came back to the US, which he first emigrated to in his teen years, from Germany after being expelled from the country. Soon after Trump's grandfather and grandmother came back to the US, Trump's father, Fred Trump, was born, but not in New Jersey. An image on his birth certificate posting by the smoking gun listed a Bronx address as Fred Trump's birthplace. Trump has made this claim so many times we expect to see it again. You know where to find us. So, okay, so what it seems like is that Trump's father was actually born in America, but slightly before that, during the maybe period, he was in Germany. And this is where I think Trump is... Look, he is 60-something, right? He's going to get things a little bit confused. He's not senile, but at the end of the day, he's still fucking 60, 65, whatever it may be. Look, did he lie? Sure. Is this a big thing? No. To be honest, I think this actually works in Trump's favour because he's not actually a Nazi, air quote. So, yeah, at the end of the day...
he was conceived in Germany, not born in Germany. I mean, you can get these things confused. It's all right.
That would be my explanation for it. Look, that would be what I would expect has happened. To be honest, I'm guessing here. I'd have to look up the timeline and everything. But as far as I know, or as far as I would suspect, that is what's happened. Look, do I think this is a big thing? No. Do I think the left will make this a big thing? Of course. But at the end of the day, I really don't think this is a big thing. I really don't. But yeah, look, at the end of the day, I would say that this actually works in Trump's favour. Oh my god, he's not a Nazi. Can we move on now? Like, imagine him being, like his grandfather being born in Germany. Then, they'll be turning around and calling him alt-right because he was born in Germany. Oh, he was literally born in Germany with Hitler, sort of thing. But, yeah. I don't know. But anyway, what are your thoughts? Moving along.
Yeah, we can move along. Is this all they've got?
There's 2 more stories. So Trump says the US has the worst, dumbest immigration system in the world. As he moves closer to the southern border, moves to close the southern border, President Trump called the United States immigration policy the worst, dumbest immigration system in the world. Trump has described Tuesday what he believes a border crisis with Mexico, according to The Hill. Trump has repeatedly warned that he wants to close the border with Mexico if it continues to do nothing to curb the influx of illegal immigration that stormed the US border and causing a breaking point, according to the US Customs and Border Protection officers. Now, obviously, since then, Castro border crisis is BS. Cool. Trump administration is treating immigrants like animals. Well, stop trying to cross the border then. Wednesday, see, it's weird. Everybody goes on about how bad America is, but they all just want to seem to go there, don't they? Wednesday, a CNN New Day former...
I've noticed that.
Yeah. Obama administration Secretary of Housing and Urban Development, so, a lot to do with the border, has a candidate for the 2020 Democrat presidential nomination. It's another one. Julian Castro said that Trump's administration declaration of national emergency is that the US-Mexico border was BS. Castro said, I don't believe the narrative. I don't believe that BS that women and children who are fleeing dangerous circumstances present a national security threat to this country. Which is weird, because yesterday we reported on 2 different immigrants that are being convicted on rape or murder charges. So, 2 in one day. Makes you wonder if there's a border crisis. But anyway. So, just quickly on this one. School cafe turns leftover food into frozen take-home meals for kids. So, a school cafe non-profit food rescue team to make sure kids don't go hungry on the weekends. An Indiana school district is teaming up with local food rescue programs to make sure that cafes' leftovers aren't wasted and instead go home with kids who might have not enough to eat on the weekends. I'm more concerned...
That's actually quite nice.
Yeah, I thought we'd finish on a good note. I'm more concerned about the fact that kids are possibly going hungry on the weekends. But... last story for the day. What
can you do?
Yeah. So, last story for the day was going to be about BioWare's Anthem, what went wrong. But this is a very long story, and I want to reread it. Because I want to print it highlight parts, and then I want to talk to you tonight about it. Are you free tonight?
Yeah, so I'm gonna go to bed. I'll probably be awake at some point tonight, and
we'll do the BioWare then.
I'll make a coffee and I'll sit outside and we can have a chat.
So, guys, what we'll do is we'll do the BioWare video later tonight, because we both want to go to bed, because I've been up all night playing games, and he's been up yakking to his mate. So at the end of the day, obviously tune in to Gamers Cuff for that video. If you don't already know the channel, it's linked in the description below. Also, check out Zat's gaming channel, because who knows, we might even be playing games. Well, I'm definitely going to be playing games tonight and streaming. And, well, maybe he will. I don't know. But yeah, so we'll put the video up on there, and that way we'll get a chance to get him fresh-faced and